Let me test. Does it work?
Yes, it does.
Pull it to me then. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Welcome to the first meeting of 2025. And we're two January meetings, we have to put in new council members or new mayors, but not this time. We're all the same. Been here, and so we don't have to go through that. But at this time, let me go ahead and ask to, if you would, to stand and join me in pledging allegiance to our flag. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. This time, Eric, any changes to the agenda?
No, sir.
Okay. You have a copy of the agenda in front of you. Go ahead and get approval of that agenda.
Make a motion to approve the agenda.
Okay, Annette, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. That's the first time in several months we haven't had to change it, isn't it? Okay. We now have an appearance. Joe Davis wants to come up and address us.
All right.
Welcome.
Yes, I just wanted to speak to you all about the recycling program you have here. All right? We're paying to have our plastics and glass and cans and stuff recycled, but they're not coming. It's not on a regular basis. I see outside it's canceled for this Friday. 2 weeks ago they were supposed to come, and it was canceled then. The last time they came with one truck, and they filled the truck up in an hour and a half. You know, everybody's here and they're paying for this service, but we're not getting the service. And somebody needs to look into it, and somebody needs to come up with a plan to where, you know, we can recycle the parts of our garbage that need to recycle and save them from the landfill. So that's my beef. It's not a beef, it's just something that, you know, it's needed. And I don't know why he's not coming Friday. Saturday. He comes every other Saturday of the month. All right? So, and before we went with this garbage service, they gave us a can to put in our residence. And everybody filled up the can, they would come and get it. The same day they got the garbage. But with these people, with this service you have now, it's not happening. They're not picking up the recycling parts at our house where it should be. Or else have a dumpster or something, though. I got like a month and a half of recycling stuff that needs to be recycled. Where can I take it? And the thing is, I'm paying for it. And everybody else is paying for it, because when we were down there, you know, there's a line down there waiting to just throw it in the garbage truck so they can take it to the recycling center. So, my suggestion, the reason I'm here is to bring it your attention so you people can take care of it and provide the services that we're paying for. Okay? Thank you very much.
Thank you. Eric will probably say, you're right. You're right. I've been about that issue for months. And I was going to actually, when we have our retreat in March 1st, that was one of the things I'm going to bring up because recycling is important to a lot of people. We tried to get at least 50% to agree to do it. But now, to do that, it goes up $10 or $12.
14.
$14 a month.
What does? The fee?
To get recycling picked up at your house, like it used to.
But then it's going to get picked up and it's going to be on a regular basis so people can use it. This
But-
they cannot use.
But again, I've had, I'll be honest with you, I have missed the Saturday many times that I'm not here on some Saturdays. And it's an issue. that you and I agree with you, and I don't know that hopefully I can win over people up here to do that, because we need to offer recycling easier than twice a month.
Exactly.
And just as a recap to how it started with the old company, we were with Waste Management.
Yes.
Our contract with Waste Management expired,
Yes.
so they submitted the new pricing for us, which pretty much everybody else has followed. So it was an extensive increase in the curbside service, an extensive increase in recycle, along with the requirement that at least 50% of the city residents had to participate in the curbside recycle in order for them to even do it. So rather than renew that contract, we went out to bid, received proposals from other providers. Everybody that submitted came back with, you need to have at least 50%. We're not going to run trucks through the city and only have 20 containers. We need, I think the number was 650, 750 paying customers to make that worthwhile to pick up. We went out at that time through our email blast, the other things, tried to get people in the city to sign up that who would pay that new rate for curbside recycle, to see if we could get 50% participation where they would draw it. Last count, I think we had 80-some residents that said they would pay for curbside recycle.
Well, there's 80%, so there you go.
No, that's 80 people, 80 houses. We need to get 650 houses.
Uh-huh.
We've got 80. So, we're almost 600, we're 570 households shy.
So what about the truck coming down here every week?
The truck coming down here
that
every
provides
week.
some sort of service
It does. The truck coming here when it comes,
when it comes.
there's no charge if it doesn't come. When it does come, the city pays $300 per servicing. So that truck's paid $300 to sit there and collect as much recycle as it can.
Uh-huh.
But none of our residents are paying $2 to recycle, $5. Any of our residents can go there and deposit. The city, out of other funds, out of the water department, pays $300 every time that truck comes to collect that. So,
And when we're paying for that in our water bill
yes,
now, so, it should be there regardless.
you're paying for it when it's there. You're not paying for it if it's not there.
But we
That's what
want
I'm
it
saying.
there, understand?
I understand.
We want it there every week, so
I
we
understand.
can take care of the recycling and save.
Sure, and I understand, and I appreciate your passion for it. What the folks here have to make a decision if they're willing to just go and tell every resident in the city they're going to pay an extra $14 a month for curbside recycle. And if that happens, then a truck would run every week to your house and pick it up.
And they couldn't come down here and park down there once a week? Or they couldn't bring a dumpster and put it somewhere so people?
The dumpsters don't work. As much as you'd love to say you put a dumpster out there, it ends up with household trash, tires, batteries, paints, and it ends up in the landfill. We've been down that road. That road was a failure for us. The only way to do that is to staff it, and we don't have the people to staff it. We did talk with our friends next door in Pickens County. I realize that's a distance, but it is a wonderful recycle center that our residents can go to at no cost and recycle 4 days a week or 5 days
Is that
a
the
week.
one up there by the old jailhouse?
Not anymore. It's further north on 515.
Yeah, if I could interject, because I go there myself, that's where I recycle, and it's in Pickens, there's no charge.
Where's it at?
It's 1 mile north of the Walmart on 515, there's a sign right there, you go in.
1 mile north of.
They
Walmart.
do, on the right, I don't really know the road, if you go through the intersection traffic light of Old Philadelphia Road,
Yeah.
it's the next drive on the right, you can drive up in there. You can do antifreeze, electronics, oil, paper. The best part of it is pure 100% recycling, not like the truck that they're doing here, because the cardboard's got to be clean, everything. So I've set a system up, it's just the way I do it in my garage, and once a month, and if I've got to run that way to do an errand, I load it up. The only days it's not open is Sunday and Mondays, and unless the weather's bad like tomorrow.
Well, if that's what you're gonna propose, then I suggest you put
That's
it
the
out there.
best way
for
to-
People here in this community, and there's going to be a lot of people, to let them know that that's available, because people don't know.
Try
that's
it one
available.
time, you'll see it, and you'll go back, because you drive in, you drive your vehicle right in, it's wide, it's clean, they help you. But the problem is, like Eric said, if you do it here, and nobody's managing it, it's not recycling.
Well, then you
Okay.
want to put that out there for these people to realize that that's available.
It's just another option. Yeah, if you
Make
can't
that
do the one in
option
town,
available to
you
the
can do
community.
there.
Put it on your website or whatever and say, this isn't working, we're going to ditch it. And you
Okay.
might as well ditch it, right?
Again-
$300 if it just comes here.
The address is 390 Appalachian Court.
Okay, the time's up.
Hold on a second.
No, time's up. I'm sorry, 5 minutes is maximum.
That's good.
But we're going to be bringing this up again, and I think we need to make a greater effort in making sure people in our city know that would be an option. Not everybody sees or reads the emails, so that's something that I hope we can consider, consider it for people that want to pay it, and those that don't. But it would be higher amounts if that was the case, if you didn't have as many as the 50%. But again, I do want to bring that up because I think that's something, it's very important to our residents to be able to have that option. So again, I'm sorry I jumped into this too, but I appreciate your comments.
Thank you.
Okay? At this time, you want to give us any announcements?
Sure. Given the briefing the chief received this afternoon at the EOC City Hall, will be closed tomorrow, along with all Cherokee County offices, school systems, and the other cities in Cherokee County. City Hall will be closed on January 20th for the Martin Luther King holiday. The recycle event, as we just heard, is canceled for Saturday due to the weather projections. Trash pickup, again, we've sent this out on everything we have, email, app, sign out front, asking everybody to have the cans out this evening at curbside. Hope to have multiple trucks in the city tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. to start picking up trash. They hope to be able to service the entire city before the snowfall begins, because when the snow starts, they will pull the trucks. We've asked customers to leave their cans at curbside if they are not serviced, and just leave them there until they are. If it clears Saturday afternoon and they can come finish, they'll do it Saturday afternoon, otherwise it'll be Monday.
All right, so we're closed, and the county is closed tomorrow. Maybe they'll be accurate. Historically, for snow, weather service had been very accurate. We had, growing up, my whole life, we had more snow when it wasn't in the forecast. And they would say, oh, it's snowing, so that's the new forecast. But again, we'll just see if it turns out to be as much as they say it will be. At this time, let me move to approval of the minutes from December. You all received the minutes?
There's a, under item 9, the second one up from the bottom, it says the estimated cost to read the property is $130,000. I think it should be rent. Talking about the parking for the downtown.
I think it should be repaid.
Oh, is that what it is, repaid?
Yeah,
I just know it's not read.
not rent, repaid.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Kelly, can you make that change?
So I would make a motion to accept the minutes with that one change.
Okay. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. We'll move on to old business. We don't have old business today. So into new business, and number of things we're going to be dealing with today is appointing committees and people for positions that we do this every January, every year. So the first one is to appoint our city clerk, and we do have a new city clerk. Kaylin Bush is joined us in December as clerk, but we have to officially today designate her as city clerk. So could I have a motion to do so?
Motion to approve Kalen for city clerk position.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
No, nobody's opposed.
Citizen Karen.
Citizen Karen.
Yes.
So, glad to-
And just as a note, not wasting any time there, Kaylin's already registered and will have her first segment of training to become certified as a municipal clerk, and that'll start February 2nd. So,
Would that be virtual or?
no, that will be on site. There are some classes that are virtual, some of them require attendance, and this one does.
Is it a week-long course?
3 days on this one?
I'll be on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday.
Yeah, so 3 days on the first one.
And I'll be back.
Okay, again, we're glad to have you officially now as city clerk. Next item is appointing the mayor pro tem for this year, and I would recommend that we maintain Dennis Nelson as our mayor pro tem.
I make a motion to approve.
Okay, motion made, second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Any opposed?
No, now position.
You're not opposed? Okay, thank you. Go through the department heads. Bring those up. Any to do? At this time, we'll then go to our committees that we do with the council members. After going through, looking at making maybe some changes, I've just decided I think we just want to maintain what we have. The same people. The only exception would be, and I'm not insulting Annette, but to pull back that the Recreation Parks and Rec to be just have two council members, so we don't have to advertise it and because if you have 3 people, then that's a quorum, and it's a lot more work to have to do. So I'm just saying that if that's all right, we're just going to maintain the committees and the chairpersons that we have, if you'll approve it.
Motion.
Okay, motion made.
Second.
Second. Any discussion, any comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Well, let me say this. You guys have done a really good job this year, the way it's set up. So I really think it's beneficial for the city to maintain what you're doing in those areas. But you know, in our council like this, we're involved in everything, not just the committee. Isn't that right, Vicki?
Yes.
We're involved in everything.
I am.
So, anyway, I just wanted to maintain that, and I want to say at this time, with Annette coming off the Parks and Rec, I would like to ask you to serve on our Historic Preservation Committee. We're putting together that ordinance, and we have a group already put together, but since you live in a historic house, I think it would be good to have you on that committee if you
Okay.
do that. So, would the council approve for joining the Historic Preservation Committee?
I make a motion that Annette joins the Historic Preservation Committee.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Who are the committee members
Who's the
for this?
There, Karen on it, Chris is on it, Stephanie Joyner
That's right.
is on it, and
Josh
Josh Briggs is on
and Brent Richardson.
it. She, but again, this is something that, this committee doesn't have council members on it, so we can have more people. So it's, again, I think that'll be beneficial to have another one. We have additional appointments to approve. The deputy court clerk, Michelle Tanner. Our tree board, as you know, the tree board, no change to that. It'll be the same members, so there's really nothing to vote on, just to share that. And the zoning board of appeals, we don't vote on that this year because they don't come into effect till January of '26.
Deputy court clerk would need a vote from Michelle Tanner.
Okay, so could I have a motion to approve Michelle Tanner? for
Motion.
Deputy clerk.
Motion to approve Michelle Tanner for deputy clerk court.
Second.
Any comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, good. Glad to have her into that position. We have, again, we have to do things every January, some of the same things. And the next item is reaffirm check signers in our bank accounts. You want to, we talked about it at the work session.
Yes, sir. What we're asking is for two different things here. We're asking check signers would be Mayor Roberts, Chris Luley, Matt Young, and myself. And we're asking to change this year, and instead of all checks over 500 requiring 2 signatures, to raise that level to $1,000. It's been 500 for 30 years, so that's much different level in today's environment. I don't know if Daryl has an issue with it, would like to kind of have a caveat in there that the 1,000 becomes effective when we order new checks. Because we just got stacks of the computerized checks, which are pretty expensive, and on there it's printed that it requires the 500, so that people see it requires it. So to approve this with a caveat that we continue using our $500 checks, and we'll hold to that for now because the auditor's going to judge us by what's on that check. So we'll continue the 500 till we're out of checks and order at 1,000.
How long do you think that will be? I don't know how quickly we go.
6 months, Donna?
Some funds would be a little longer.
Okay. So, but the big fund's probably 6 months. No?
Probably a year for one general fund.
Okay. So we'll do it at 1,000. When checks run out, we'll order them for 1,000. We'll just continue to adhere to the 500 as long as it's on the check.
Okay. Can I have a motion to approve those items?
Motion to approve the check signers listed with the caveat of until we run out of checks.
Thank you.
Second.
Any further comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. So that vote includes the changing to $1,000. At this time, going to consider establishing and fixing qualifying fees for elections of mayor and council. We have to do that every year, and we'll maintain it at mayor is $108 and city council member is $35. And so we just need to approve that if the council would. Motion to approve.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. And the next item is the Arbor Day proclamation. We, if I can find it. We have done Arbor Day ever since we became a tree city. We were a tree city. We were the first one in Cherokee County, and this is our 36th year as a tree city. And so we do an Arbor Day proclamation. And as I said, I had it here in front of me. It's gone. But it's just, I just want to, all right, let me share it. This is proclamation 2025, number 1, first proclamation of our year. Whereas this holiday, called Arbor Day, was first observed with the planting of more than 1 million trees in Nebraska. And whereas Arbor Day is now observed through the nation and the world, and whereas trees can reduce the erosion of our precious topsoil by wind and water, cut heating and cooling costs, moderate the temperature, clean the air, produce oxygen, and provide habitat for wildlife. And whereas trees are a renewable resource giving us paper, wood for our homes, fuel for our fires, and countless other wood products. Whereas trees in our city increase property values, increase the economic vitality of business areas, and beautify our community. Now, therefore, I, A.R. Roberts III, that's me, Mayor of the City of Ball Ground, do hereby proclaim February the 21st, 2025 as Arbor Day in the City of Ball Ground, and I urge our residents to support efforts to protect our trees and woodlands. It's be dated today. And so I just want to share that with the council and ask the council if they will approve me having that proclamation.
I make a motion to approve that proclamation.
Okay, second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. What we do also on Arbor Day, we actually offer some trees to residents that come for the tree planting. We actually give them, a lot of cities give trees like that big, tiny little things, but what we do, we don't give a whole lot, but we get, ones that are bigger that you can actually see and plant. So if you come to the Arbor Day recognition on the 21st of February this year, then you'll be able to get a free tree to plant. And by the way, our Arbor Day is set up in the state. It's the third Friday in February every year. So we'll be doing that, and we'll be announcing where we're going to be doing this once all of us agree on where we're going to be planting the Arbor Day tree. So we'll share that information. Okay, next item is adoption of the 2025 fee schedule. You can see behind you and in front of you. Anything you want to comment on that?
I think we covered it at the work session. Again, this isn't the whole fee schedule. These are just the items that are changing on the fee schedule or being proposed for change on the fee schedule.
Okay, as we said, we did cover those at the work session, so we'll go ahead and approve those as submitted now.
I have a comment. You said something at the work meeting about potentially having a large fee for someone to be de-annexed from the city.
And
I like that.
And that's something that we're looking at staff. Again, we're not allowed to profit on those things. So we're going back through, we need to figure out what our cost is involved in there, what advertising costs, legal costs, things to do it, and then we can propose. It would not be a large fee because we're not allowed
But
to
it would
profit
be
from,
cost.
yes, but it would cover cost.
And didn't we discuss that for an annexation would be the same, that we would, for just our expenses, or no?
I might have misunderstood. I thought for annexation, it was kind of,
Okay.
we're going to get tax revenue and benefit down
Okay.
the road, so.
That's fine, that's fine.
And we will, once we come up with that amount, we will just bring that up as,
Yes.
at a meeting and approve it then. Okay. So can we go ahead and, put what's provided here, approve these changes?
I make a motion to consider the 2025 fee schedule.
Okay. Second,
Second.
any comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Good. Next item is consider adoption of our zoning map. This is something we're required to do every year. And Chris, you want to make any comment about it?
It is a standard yearly, just housekeeping procedure. It's just reflective of what we have on our GIS, which is a constantly evolving map. It changes with things like annexations, de-annexations, and rezonings. Most recent change is the one you all approved, with Roberts East rezoning a few months ago. So that's reflected on this map. Pretty simple. Any questions? I'm happy to answer.
This is on our website.
It is, and the whole purpose for this is to always having a fairly recent date of the official map. So we're not saying the official map is 20 years old with 300 changes. That every year we start over.
Yes. Okay, could I get a motion to approve the current zoning map?
I'll make a motion to approve the zoning map.
Okay, Vicki,
Second.
any more comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No. We, this, that map's a pretty big map now. But it's, again, I said it is on our website. Anybody wants to ever look at it,
I
it's
have a
there.
question. How many square miles does that cover, that map? Do you know?
Question?
No, you don't know.
Don't have to square miles.
I was just-
32.
Oh, I was gonna say.
No. It's something we can look at.
I was just curious on.
Yeah, it's something to look at.
Yeah, just out of curiosity compared to, you go back 25 years ago, what it was
Oh, sure.
compared to now, so just out of curiosity.
Okay, next item. Consider resolution support Cherokee County's application for state road and tollway authority Georgia Transportation Infrastructure Bank funding. And we talked about that at the work session, but you want to give us a summary of these you're putting in front of us here?
Yes, this is, Cherokee County continues to work on building the Technology Parkway. Long-term, this is anticipated to connect Bluffs Parkway in Canton with the Cherokee County Regional Airport. So they're building this roadway in segments. So they have asked, they're looking for funding. This obligates us for zero funding. It's just when they apply to the Georgia Tollway, they want to be able to show that other governments in the area support their project and support their application. Again, it obligates us for not a dime. Just saying, we support construction of that road.
That road, part of that road's on in our zip code.
Oh, yes.
That whole over there by the airport is actually the address for the airport is Ball Ground. They call it Canton, the weather station does, but it is a Ball Ground address. And so this road being built, much of that road will be within the zip code of Ball Ground, and unfortunately not the city of Ball Ground, but it's still, their addresses are Ball Ground all along that road. So could I have a motion to approve this resolution for support?
I make a motion to approve the resolution of support.
Okay, Dennis, second.
Second.
Chris, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Good. Any opposed? No. Okay. So our new business this year, this month is some of the, most of it the same thing we do every January, but this last one was not. All right, so at this point, let me turn over to Eric for his comments.
Chief?
Oh, thank you. Each month I'm able to come up and talk to you and give you some stats and everything else, and this month's a little different. You know, I believe leadership, you kind of hope that you instill culture and some responsibilities into your staff, and you hope that it gets carried out. And I've been extremely proud and impressed with the job the guys have done since I got here. And last week alone, and the last, I think, it was about 10 days ago, you know, you hope that when you're not here, things are still carried out in the way that you want things to be done. And I think it was about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, 2 young boys went missing behind the Wheeler house. It was very cold. It was a cold night. They were gone for about 45 minutes. 2 of the officers, without picking up the phone, didn't need to call anybody. They sprung into action and they knew what needed to be done. They took the UTV for, in my opinion, what it was intended to be used for. They got on the trail and they went and they found these 2 young men. They were gone for, like I said, about 45 minutes. These boys were on the phone with 911. 911 did a great job. They were able to coordinate with our officers and they were able to find these young men safe, uninjured. They went all the way down to the lake where the crime scene tape was. I'm sure you know where that was. And they were able to get these 2 young boys before they got hurt, before they got injured, before they were out in the elements, and returned them back home to their parents. These 2 young boys did absolutely nothing wrong. They were 2 kids out exploring and got a little further away from home than they really thought they were. I'm impressed because the guys called me after everything was done, after the boys got back home, and told me what they did, and tickled to death that I know now, in the time of need, these guys spring into action and they just got it done. And I felt good, and I want to share that with you because each month I give you some stats, and you know, it's easy to say that they're stopping cars, they're doing this. You see all that. But to be able to share with you things that they're doing behind the scenes that you might not see, you might not know about, without hesitation, without supervision, without direction, they get it. And that's just a small portion of what they're doing daily, and I just thought it was important to share that with you. The parents were extremely grateful for what they did, and I just wanted you guys to know that that's what's going on a daily basis here in the city, and I'm tickled to death with the staff, and I know each of you are because you tell me. And I just wanted to share that with you before we get into the weather and things like that. It's just bearing on me, and I just wanted to share it. We're only as good as the people that are under us, and I'm tickled to death to have a staff like this. Thank you. Let's talk about the weather. It's cold. It's going to be cold tomorrow morning, 18 to 20 degrees when we wake up. The snow is going to start rolling in here. Like Eric said, early in the morning hours. We're hoping it'll hit us around 7:15, 7:30, around that time. We are expected, and I know the models are crazy, and the mayor is exactly right. We have a bad habit of over projecting. Last time I saw it was like 7 inches. However, we really nailed it down today with the last briefings. We're expected anywhere from 1.8 to 2 inches of snow. And honestly, that's really not that bad. If that's all we get, we can survive that without any issues. It's the ice. Right now on the ice, we are at about 1/10 of an inch, up to 0.15 of an inch. If we stay there, we're okay. Traditionally, historically, if Cherokee County gets over a 1/2 inch of ice, we really, really suffer. We're not prepared for anything more than that. That's what hits our power lines. That's what hits the roads the hardest, is getting over a 1/2 inch of ice. If we can stay away from that, we'll be okay. The ground temperature alone is what we really need to focus on. Right now it's about 32 to 34 degrees. If it stays there, we're okay. If it drops, then when the rainfall hits, it's going to turn into ice. So it really is a wait and see kind of thing. The models are showing that it's just going to be snow, and we can move on. It'll be gone by Saturday afternoon, and the rest of the weekend will be okay. If it's the ice, we're going to go into late Saturday, and we're going to have to deal with a little bit more slippier conditions than where we're at. The cities of Canton, Holly Springs, Woodstock, they all closed, the county closed. That is the safest thing for us to do from a liability standpoint, in my opinion. if I can make any suggestions to any citizens, any motorists, please don't get on the roadway. That is not the time to get in your UTVs, your golf carts, your four-wheel drives. That is the time for us to be out checking on those that we need to. Sergeant Young and some of the guys went over and checked on the seniors at the senior center the other day. We will continue to check on them. We went over the safety of using space heaters and that kind of thing. We will encourage everyone to, if they see something, say something, call 911. There are extra people on staff. We will go check on elderly, we will go check on friends, we will go check on family. We have no problems that our vehicles are equipped to handle that. We don't want to be on the roads unless we absolutely have to. So, but we will make sure we're patrolling neighborhoods. I talked to DOT, they will of course hit all the state routes, but I also talked to some of the guys at the county, and they said that they will hit as many side streets as possible. However, again, if you do not have to go out on the roads, please stay in. That is not the time to go sightsee and see all around the city to see how pretty it is. Wait for, wait a day or two, let it thaw out a little bit. I would hate for somebody to get hurt because they were just trying to explore. Please be careful of your driveways and your sidewalks. They are going to be icy. Use some ice melts. But again, take a day, stay at home, read a book, sit by a fire. It will not hurt you, I promise. A day to decompress is good for everyone. We will be out and about. If you need something, call us. We have no problems checking on folks. And if you need us, we're out and about. Sheriff's Office chainsaw crews, as funny as it sounds, they will be out and about cutting trees away from the roads, trees away from the power lines. EOC is going to be up and running. If you have an app or if you do not subscribe to the Cherokee County Emergency Management webpage, please do. They are very good about pushing some information out. Other than that, it's been a great month. We got a new officer. I don't know if you met him earlier. Cliff Garrett, 20 years experience. He's just moved, I think, to Cons Creek Road now. He's a veteran of the military. Good head on his shoulders. I think he's going to be a great addition. He's already done some really good things in the city, and look forward to his future. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Mentioning the road, the risk of road for ice, did you not put things on the road today?
Yes.
They brined today, yeah.
They did brine today. And they hit some side streets, but mostly it was state routes.
Yeah, because I was on several other, and they all had that white look to them, so I assume that will keep.
It'll be all over social media about how dirty their cars are because of that. But yes, sir.
Okay, that's what we want to verify. Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Chief.
Yes, sir.
We'll go ahead and jump into finances. Probably our last month of nice balances. We closed the month with $3.7 million cash on hand. Of that, we owe Cherokee County $670,000. That is the fire tax that we owe them to date. So as soon as they invoice us, we'll be going down substantially there. December revenue and expenses. For the month, we had a total of $989,000 in revenue against $500 and almost $12,000 in expenditures. Year to date, we're at almost $3.4 million in revenue against $2.7 million in expenditures. Dealing with right now in administration, mid-year review. We're also doing the budget meetings with staff, our revenue forecasts, and open records requests. Our capital projects, the roundabout, our plans are approved. We have our encroachment permit in hand for the roundabout construction. Appraisals are due back next week on the 2 parcels of property that we're going to need to make final offers on. 372 spur and bypass, I will probably pull this slide right now. There's not much to report as they just continue engineering of that project. Mountain Brook sidewalk extension, against low bid, went to DAF Concrete. Our pre-construction meeting will be on January 14th. We did have some water sewer conflicts with the new sidewalk. They have already been, it was fire hydrants that would be in the way of the sidewalk. They've already been relocated. So every time we do a project like this, you have the project cost and then the water sewer cost also. So I think we spent right around $20,000 on fire hydrant issues. Groover Street and Civic realignment. We met with GDOT today on this project. GDOT has already, I'll have to go back and look at the numbers, but we're projecting this project to be, I think, $65,000. GDOT gave us a grant, I believe, for $58,000. We got a little tweaking to do on this design, but it's going to realign that four-way stop and bring the entrance up. If you remember, the other plans that we'd looked at put the entrance down here, and we were just going to close off the drive up here at Civic. The problem with that was going to create too much traffic flow right in front of the senior center. It was going to be an issue for seniors. So we've gone against that. We've gone back to this model, which will line up, bring this stop kind of across into here, create some green space here. Around the fire hydrant here, now will be some green space, curb gutter and sidewalk. So it will change to where the folks won't be coming in and off the road at Civic. They will actually have to go into the main parking lot and turn and come back in, and that will be a closed parking lot. Downtown parking lot, that we've talked about that assessment. It's complete. The property owner has been on an extended vacation but is back in town, and we are set up to meet late next week and hopefully come to terms where legal counsel can draft the contract and get us started on that lease. Water and sewer, Mountain Brook connection. Seems we had I think a fair meeting with Pulte Homes online today. They have a few things to tidy up on their entrance off the Jordan Road with the fire marshal and county engineering. They're trying to acquire a small piece of property, but right now the water line has to hold until they get their entrance secured. Then the water line will be extended to that entrance. Yesterday was the big sewer force main vault and valve replacement. Probably on some of these things going into a little too much detail, but since I've been warning everybody and saying there will be some proposed utility rate increases this year, just kind of some of the expenses that we're dealing with. Some are major and one-time events, and others are everyday events. This project was at $65,000. Trench Incorporated was the contractor, and this was to replace the valving system in the force main in front of Magby Lumber that controls the flow between Howell Bridge and Sage Hill. Give you kind of an indication, you can see how big that vault is. This is the vault here on the crane truck, and then this is it being lowered into the hole. But that was cast by Bartow Precast, and it had to line up exactly with 4 pipes in the ground, both vertically and horizontally. And we had a very narrow window because while this project was happening, no sewage was flowing. So everything was, all lift stations were shut down. Here's an example. This area here, that's ductile iron pipe. That's what comes precast into the vault, and then this was the existing line, so they had to cut and go through. This is what came out of the ground. One of the things, like Trench Incorporated is a ball ground company that we like to use occasionally. This project, and knock on wood, went incredibly smooth yesterday. I don't think we've had a project go this well in a long time. It went in the hole, everything lined up and was done. One of the reasons we love using the local companies like this is because they pay taxes and we can send them back money. But it went so well when he invoiced us today the $65,000 project dropped to a $40,000 project because of the time savings. He had budgeted 3 days before he would have that totally, because we knew we could pump from Sage Hill. And that's the honesty and integrity of a lot of our local contractors. They just say it wasn't as bad as I thought, and so that was a nice surprise today when we were invoiced. Two smaller things, but end up costing money. This is something we're running into more and more as some of our neighborhoods mature. This is, as you can see, a tree right here. This area right here is a sewer cleanout. It's where the resident planted a nice tree next to it and then calls because sewage is backed up in their house and we got all kinds of problems. Picture on the left, that might be hard to see, that's all tree root. We had to get a plumber out there and jet the line and excavate. They can't even get through those tree roots. So the recommendation to the customer is you need to cut your tree down, and then they're going to have to get a plumber in there to dig the line up and replace that. The more significant issue we had this month, and again, going into detail, but it's the things that our guys deal with daily. The house here on the left, their sewer connection is right here. The house here is at a much higher level. You can't see it in the trees, but it's a much higher level. And this is a house that's owned by one of the Wall Street hedge funds, big rental companies that buys houses and rents. At some point, they connected, this house up here connected to the city sewer system. It wasn't done on the initial install like this house was. The sewer tap for this house is down here. But they ran over here and then came into their neighbor's yard and tied into their neighbor's tap. This neighbor had a job transfer and has been out of town for about 8-10 months. Comes home to clean the house up, and they're going to put it on the rental market, and the basement is full of sewage. Because this house sits so much higher, there's a blockage in the line down here. It all backed up into this house and came up through the dryer or the washing machine drain in the basement. So for almost a year, that's all been running. In order to correct our end of the problem, we had to install a new service underneath the road here at a cost, I believe it was about $15,000–$16,000 to bore a 4-inch line under the road on grade so it would carry the sewage to the line. We've placed this customer on notice that they have to relocate their sewer service. And then on this customer's house, so it can't happen again, we installed a backflow at the street so that even while we deal with these folks legally, nothing can back up in these folks' house. But those are the expenses and the kinds of things that the guys deal with on a pretty much an everyday basis. Other notable issues, the rate assessment is complete. I think I told you will be presented with budget and at the planning retreat on March 1st. License renewal to operate the water system was blessed by the Mountain District and has now gone to EPD headquarters in Atlanta. Chemical room, we're just waiting on equipment delivery. Force main relocation study to relocate the Cherokee Village force main to bring it down the new bypass roadway to free up capacity in about a mile of our line on Valley Street. And then, again, still working on the development security plans for PFAS and our flushing plans. It's a quiet time for parks and downtown. Finished up a real busy year. Now it's time to catch the breath and do more planning on next year. Will say that for Christmas this year, I think the downtown was the best it's ever looked. I think the city did a great job. Ashley had a nice layout. The water department helped and got all kinds of stuff out. Our businesses responded well, and downtown really looked nice for the holiday. Again, working with them on budget prep and evaluation, working on collaborating and identifying small, unique events that can take place in the city. Also, they did a survey of downtown businesses and then met with the businesses, went over survey results, but some more are still trickling in. So just getting an idea of how the downtown events this year impacted the businesses, good comments, bad comments, and other things they're looking for that'll help us plan for better events moving forward. Community development. Projects underway, and Chris is juggling a lot of them. I won't read them all off, but those are the ones you see when you drive around the city. We have a lot of dirt that's moving. Development projects under review would be the Pendleton Smith Douglas, that would be out on Gilmer Ferry, the Jordan Lennon, Brogan's Bluff roadway that's under construction, in the Snell Old Canton Road residential project. Community development operations, working on updates that'll hopefully come before council in February for update the parking standards in the zoning code, nuisance property and a blight tax ordinance. House Bill 581. We have, I think, 3 or 4 more meetings scheduled on this. House Bill 581 is extremely complicated. It's how property taxes under the new state law will operate this year. And just to be blunt, I guess it's what happens when everybody that's never dealt with property taxes writes laws on property taxes. So again, we're expected to provide more data before we have data. We're supposed to be able to present the state and the tax assessor with our anticipated rollback millage rate at a date prior to the date that we're even given a tax digest. So they've just got a lot of the legislation. We'll do our best to comply with it. It's just going to be very much a challenge. I'll leave it at that. We haven't had communication from the county, but we did read correspondence from Commission Chair Harry Johnston that they plan on going to the delegation and asking for a host referendum to be placed on the ballot. That would be the 1-cent sales tax that would result in the county M&O tax disappearing from homestead properties. So if it's a homestead property, your county M&O would go away. Downtown parking analysis was complete. We'll pretty that up a little bit and get that out to elected body. It's really kind of eye-opening how many parking spaces we really have. Chris, it was over, I want to say within 300 feet of downtown, we had like 265 or over 300 spaces. Right, that's right, 360 spaces. That doesn't count the community building parking lot, the parking lot at the gymnasium. So we think where people are concerned about parking, maybe our issue is more information and signage related in direction to the parking rather than the parking spaces themselves. But they did a real good job on pulling that together. Also did a downtown property tax assessment and square footage. We've got about 80,000 square feet of commercial property downtown. But I think downtown's a big ticket item. Just comparison, our total property tax collections on downtown is right around $20,000 a year. So very low compared to the investment that's put in downtown. We spend more providing parking downtown than we collect in property tax. Building permits, December was a slow month at 1 permit. That closes the year with 77 residential permits issued. Projects waiting on plan submittal. We know the zoning was done on Roberts East and also on Cowart Heights, so we're waiting for those plans now to come in. Active development, really no change in them, and the number of units permitted just went up from 104 to 105. Developments that we're still talking with the developers on, again, Pulte, Gilmer Ferry, Cagle property behind UAC, and there was, and I haven't had a chance to look at it, Chris has, but there was a draft concept plan submittal today where they've gone ahead and redesigned that to not impact the bypass. So they would leave, their proposal now is to leave what property was needed to construct the bypass unimpeded and develop the other portions of the property. So that came in this afternoon. We'll drill down on that more next week. The last couple slides is really just having a little bit of fun. I've decided to quit arguing on social media, but just cover a few things here. I'm not advocating or promoting gas stations, but that seems to be the favorite target on social media. But just thought it funny to take a look. In 1990, our population was 905 people. Today, we're at 3,100. We still have 5 gas stations. They all look better than the ones did in 1990s, but Buddy's is still Buddy's. It just reopened. The Country Cupboard is now the Hop Inn with a facelift. Thrift Town is now the Shell station. Cordell's is the BP station that's not open yet, but expects to open in January. Kent's gas station is now closed, but that's where the buy here, pay here car lot is down in front of the package store. And what was a vacant lot in 1990 is now the Chevron station at the four-way stop at Howell Bridge. So everybody says, all these gas stations coming to Ball Ground, that's all we're getting. What are we going to do with them? We got the same number we did 35 years ago. So, not advocating for them, just saying it's not changed. Bypass has been a target on social media lately, so the bypass lies and size. The bypass will have a huge impact on the WMA. The bypass does not touch the WMA. 372 does dissect it on the east side of the river bridge on 372 where the WMA is. Our bypass does not touch or go anywhere near the WMA. Residents successfully killed the bypass 10 years ago. I slept through that one. 372 through downtown has always been a dedicated truck route. And that wasn't until the late 1990s it became a dedicated truck route. And then my favorite is you have to expect this when you build your town on a state route. Wasn't even a state highway department until 1916, and Ball Ground established in 1883 with Gilmer Ferry Road, and didn't become a state highway, like I said, till 1978. So just some fun things to toss out. Nobody likes facts on social media, so I'll just have fun with them here.
This is great.
And that's it.
Thank you, Eric. You know, I thought about actually setting something up for me on social media. I stopped doing it during your elections because people complained about Ball Ground, but didn't even live in Ball Ground. But I thought I would do it about something. I ain't done it yet, but you may see me one day. I just say Mayor Rick, and then I can comment on things I don't like. Let me bring something up on top of our committees. I did want to hold off to say I would like to set up that downtown and economic development committee. And this is something that we'll have to put together because we haven't had it, but I wanted to ask that Vicki be chairperson and that Scott be on it. And we'll bring in Chris. He's very active in the things I think we need. And also Ashley, because of her knowledge of downtown. But it will be something to put together, not only development downtown, but also just throughout the city. And I think that it may take a few months for us to get it put together. I asked Darryl, I said, well, let me be on it too. He said, well, they'll have to advertise it. I said, well, I don't, anyway, because that's apparently they are part of the quorum. So I'll attend them, but I want to go ahead and ask the council to move forward with approving this new committee as I'm recommending. Will you do that? Approve it, motion to approve it?
Oh, I thought someone did. I thought someone said something
I was
down
writing
there.
it down. I was like the legal name, Downtown Economic Committee.
But with Vicki's experience and all your training you've had in different downtown courses, I feel like you're good to be the chairman.
Thank you.
Can you call a woman chairman? Is that
Chairperson.
chairperson? I'm sorry, chairwoman. Well, anyway, but I would ask the council to.
Would it be appropriate for me to make a motion?
Yeah,
Why not?
because you're in favor of it.
I would be happy to make a motion
Okay,
I'll
for this
second.
committee.
okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Good. Again, and that will bring, ask Chris to serve on that and Ashley because of, and then let me add, the other thing, the committee that we cut back Annette off of, we had Karen on. And so I'd like Kaylin to be on it too, but Ashley also in that Parks and Rec committee, because she's so active in what she does there. And again, Karen contributed greatly too.
So Ashley will be on the Parks and Rec with Scott and myself also.
And yes, and I want to put
And
Kaylin too.
And Caitlin, okay.
I think that would, but the other members of staff that were on the other committees would maintain. That would be Donna on the finance, insurance personnel, Chris on the roads and streets, Eric on the water and sewer sanitation, and Chief Jamie
Yes, sir.
on the public safety. I'm saying that you'll maintain that like you were last year. So I just want to share that with you. We are trying to get together on our retreat location. I had in mind of going over to Vickery in South County because I wanted to show the development there was small and big. It's very mixed up. When I was there years ago, I went over a few weeks ago, and it not what it changed. So we're not going to go there. We're working on that right now for alternatives, but we'll have that. We will share that information before our next meeting. So again, and anybody that has a suggestion that we might go somewhere else outside the city, share that in the future if you would. But we, now I know you said take a cruise or go to Florida,
Yeah.
but no, that's.
Go where it's warm.
You know where the city of Woodstock's going for their planning retreat? Ball ground.
The airport.
Well, they're going to the airport,
Oh.
but that's got ball ground there. So,
Got Hawks Ridge.
We did that in the past.
It's in the 30107.
Yeah, but
Zip code.
we can't do Hawks Ridge.
Oh, you
we did in the past, and it turned in one of the things because it is a gated community. We have to be open to the public. So they would have to agree to allow any member of the public to come, and initially they were willing to do that because I think they had one house in there when we did our retreats in there. But as they've grown, they're not willing to just open the doors.
Can we use the conference facility that's in Woodstock there at the economic development? Where
We could. I mean, if it's available, we just have to go through economic
it's
development.
nice facilities, puts you kind of right there if you want to see some things.
I'm making a visit
That's
this
true.
next week to Cumming City Center, and was just going to check that out. They've got conference rooms available there, but you know, City of Cumming, it's almost all government downtown, and then some other stuff. So a few miles outside of downtown now, they've built a city center, and its online presence looks real good. So going to visit that and see, it's a nice little mixed use.
Smell nice.
Have you been to it?
Yes.
I've been in there too. They've tried to really grow that. And I think actually one of the businesses that's kind of the ball ground has a second place over there, or a first place they have there.
Their conference room space for the day with coffee and soft drinks and everything else for the full day is $425. So it's not like they're pricing it out of the world, but I just wanted to go over and look and see what it looked like, and that's a possibility.
But again, I'd like us to try to get this determined before our next council meeting, even though it's for March 1st. But again, I just wanted to share that victory that I thought would be a good example of, in the early days, it was large houses and small houses, it all mixed up. It was great because it was just different. It was diversity in the housing. But when I went the other day, it was all the same. So I don't know what happened.
Polo fields took over.
But anyway, it's we're working on that. Annette, do you have anything you want to bring up?
Thank you for coming. I'm surprised there's a good number of people. It's so cold, getting ready for the weather.
Chris?
Stay warm. Hopefully it's pretty with our snow.
Thank you to all of our city workers in public safety. I know the guys had to be suffering a little bit working in that sewer area and the cold water and the cold weather. It never ceases to amaze me. They get the job done. Appreciate it.
You're right. I agree. Vicki?
Yes. Jenny, thank you for your service. Today is Law Enforcement Appreciation Day. And we'd like to thank you and your staff for keeping us safe and going to the calls and catching the chicken.
We appreciate y'all's support, we really do, it means a lot.
Did you catch the rooster?
No, I did not.
Oh, it's a rooster, not a chicken.
The chicken.
A chicken was saved. We had a very concerned individual call in, and it appears the chicken jumped off the or the chicken truck to escape and injured himself. But I'm happy to say that it's been rehomed on a farm and is doing wonderful.
It was me.
It makes law enforcement all worth it, doesn't it?
It does. It was the talk of the day.
I stopped and watched it. I couldn't stand it.
Scott?
Just that everybody stays safe in this weather and stays warm. And I also want to thank the waterworks and police, and especially over the next couple of days. I'm sure you, hopefully not busy, but you know things are going to happen. So thank you for the time spent to help people out, keep you safe during the weather.
Okay. Kevin, anything you want to add? Or Daryl?
Everything's good from this end.
Well, I'll make the comment that if we have the snow tomorrow, those of you that are here in town may see me walking in the snow, because I walk every day and I can't miss a day. So I've got to figure out, I'm going to have to find all my walking shoes and things I used to wear when it snowed. It's been years since we've had very much snow. So we'll see if it happens, but I hope everybody will be safe and enjoy it. You know, the good thing about being in this part of the country, when we do have snow, you can play in it for a couple of days, then it goes away. But up north, it stays for months, you know, and it's different. But I hope we do have a good time and have a safe time with this snow that's predicted. This time, anybody want to address the council on any issue? Matt, no? Okay, then let's go ahead and get a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second. All in favor? Thanks for attending.
So they got a place that they need to warm and a shower and a.
Yeah.